Oh, I see.
Yeah, a little Scorpions for you to get you going on this beautiful New York morning on this Thursday at 10:08. Back on the Bernie and Sid show on legendary 77 WABC. But of course, as we do prepare for Trump Clinton 2 coming up Sunday night from St. Louis, the big story across the country today, which I do believe a lot of New Yorkers will feel. I mean, I'm a guy that relocated to South Florida, still own a home in Boca Raton. All of my family and friends own condominiums and homes all over South Florida. And the big story today.
You roll with some nice people.
It's called Jews, Bernard. Jews.
Hey, condos and co-ops.
Damn right. Friends. But on a serious note, South Florida, specifically West Palm Beach, is about to get nailed from this hurricane, which already has 65. This is an amazing number, 65 dead in Haiti. Tremendous amount of damage just moments ago at the beautiful Atlantis Hotel in the Bahamas.
Oh.
And they expect sometime later on today, West Palm Beach. And eventually, before this thing is said and done, they do expect some widespread millions and millions of dollars worth of damage to Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. So this thing's not going to stop in Florida today, but it is a very ominous outlook for South Florida later on tonight.
I feel very, very bad for the people in Haiti. I really do. I mean, those people, they can't get a break.
No.
I mean, it's just with the earthquake, the poverty, and then the rebuilding plan goes awry. They're still living in huts, and I mean, the sewage is not existent.
Thank God for Bill and Hillary raising money for the great people of Haiti.
They actually raped the people of Haiti with that Clinton Global Foundation.
I know, I threw that to you. That was a softball.
I mean, it was pretty horrible, but 69 people dead, and I honestly, this is the way I feel. The money that we're going to spend for, say, these Syrian refugees, believe it or not, a lot of people, and I say don't do it, don't let them in. People say you're xenophobic, it's racist.
That's what I say.
Right,
that's what I say.
I say, okay, let's use that money that's allocated for them, for the Syrian refugees, and scrap that and send it to fix up Haiti.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Because we don't have enough other money besides the money for the Syrian refugees, which you bring up every single day. We don't have enough money from the government, from taxes and everything else, to help do some of those things, right? We don't have that.
Exactly right.
Oh, stop it. You know better.
$20 trillion in debt. That's what I would say. I would say, actually, I think those people would have actually appreciate it.
Be very nice.
And they wouldn't be trying to kill us. And they've been suffering big time for a long time. It just seems like God's plan went awry for them.
Well, listen, I feel horrible for them, but we're talking about America. You want to make America great again? I'm talking about South Florida, my house in Boca Raton. That's my worry today, to be honest with you. So for Mr. Donald Trump, let's make America great again and screw everybody else. You should be worried about South Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas today.
I don't even know how to follow that non sequitur.
Yeah, because you know I'm right. What do you care about anybody else? It's all about making America great again.
You mentioned 65 people dead in Haiti. I'm saying I feel bad for the Haitians.
I've
seen the pictures down there.
Terrible.
It's horrific.
Terrible. Trump did tweet this morning around 3 a.m. Best wishes to Floridians. He did.
He's funny.
Listen,
well, he's got a place. His Mar-a-Lago place in Palm Beach is right there in the eye of the storm.
We, no doubt, undoubtedly pray for this hurricane. Maybe for these guys to be wrong. Maybe Bill Evans will be wrong again.
He's not wrong.
And it won't hit.
No, he's not wrong. I've watched every single major network this morning. And what they're saying to make it even worse is right now it's a Category 3. They expect when it hits South Florida later today that it will, in fact, be a Category 4. And not just usually what happens is by the beaches, if you go east, you get hammered. Like my house, for example, is all the way in West Boca. And every meteorologist I watched this morning on every major network said it doesn't matter. The storm surge, the winds, the amount of rain is so bad that whether you're east or west, it doesn't matter. Listen, I'll give it to you this way. Usually politicians' jobs, you know this, Bernard, is to minimize panic.
Let's listen to what Governor Rick Scott
hold on. Before you do that, would you agree that usually a politician's... Stop that for a second. Would you agree that usually a politician's job is to minimize panic?
Without a doubt.
Okay. So if you're the governor...
Calm
the nerves, right? So if you're the governor of Florida, Rick Scott, and this thing is about to hit you, you would think Rick Scott would say something that would, like you said, soothe the nerves, right?
You would think so, unless, of course, there's something serious. I mean, he's putting out a dire warning. But yes, I agree with your premise. Go ahead.
Right, and I lived in Florida for Hurricane Wilma in 2005. I arrived in Florida 9 days after the WFAN fired me in 2005. 9 days before Wilma, I lived through that. I don't ever remember a politician sounding this serious and things this dire. Here he is, Governor Rick Scott.
If you need to evacuate and you haven't, evacuate. This storm will kill you. Time is running out. We don't have that much time left. Save your life. It might not be the best accommodations, but you don't want to go through 100 to 150 mile-an-hour winds, storm surge, rip currents, and all these things.
Did you hear that? This storm will kill you, save your life.
I'm not sure what your take is on this. Should he not have said that, or is he overhyping the danger?
I applaud him. I think that sometimes politicians, in an effort to minimize the panic, don't make it clear that you can die in this storm.
Absolutely.
This is a storm that will kill you.
But there is good news. There is some good news, folks.
Oh, the Mets won last night?
The fact that storm is going to make a right turn and not come up to the New York area, though, I mean, we'll feel some of the outer bands, the effects of it. Yeah. It's not going to hit here as Sandy did, say, 4 years ago.
No, although they are actually considering, just from the outer bands, to show you how strong this storm is, they're considering canceling the Rutgers-Michigan football game in New Jersey on Saturday because of the outer bands.
Please, come on.
How silly is this?
My whole weekend is revolving around that game.
I'm sure it is. But on a serious note, they closed the University of Miami, one of the 4 schools I went to, in Coral Gables, today, tomorrow, and Friday. School's closed. Miami's closed. But they have not yet canceled the Miami-Florida State football game in Miami on Saturday night. How's that?
Well, that's an important game. that must be played.
Must be a dome stadium.
It's going to be a John Madden type game. Oh, there they go in the mud. And where's Frank Caliendo when we need him? This is my kind of game.
That's pretty good.
In the meantime, my sister Elizabeth lives in Parkland. My 97-year-old Nana is in Pompano Beach this morning. So on a serious note, besides my house, I've got a lot of family and friends down there, and I'm worried for them.
You got to tell them to leave soon.
Let me ask you this: when you suffered, you tolerated, you lived through Wilma.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I mean, what happened? You were in a house, and did you have to go to a shelter? What happened back then?
Well,
2005.
I'll tell you what. We moved. FAN, like I said, got rid of me, so we left Tenafly, New Jersey. At the time, my daughter Ava was 18 months. Gabe wasn't born yet. It was just me, Danielle, my daughter, and my dog Lucy. We drove down to Danielle's cousin Linda, who lives in Central Boca, and we lived with them for about 6 months. We were there for 9 days. The storm hit. Every tree in the community was knocked out. Homes were destroyed. Somebody died, actually, in the neighborhood, got hit by a tree in the middle of the storm, and they lost power for weeks. So we had to move from Danielle's cousin in Central Boca to her friend who lived down by Cooper City, down in Fort Lauderdale. But for a good 3 weeks, there was no power. Rick Scott said today, he said, listen to me carefully. You're going to lose power. It's not maybe if. He goes, whether you live east or west, you're going to lose power for upwards of a month.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It is nuts, but listen, I have to tell you, it happened here 4 years ago. We lost power. I went through the exact same thing. We lost power for 4 weeks. 4 weeks.
A month, yeah.
A month, actually. Yeah. And, it's funny, that when Sandy hit, we didn't take it seriously, as do a lot of people don't take these things seriously.
Well, especially here. I mean, there's a reason why the Miami football team is called the Hurricanes. They get hurricanes in South Florida. Right. You don't expect a hurricane here in New York.
We had Hurricane Irene the prior year, and or maybe it was that prior summer. I don't remember, but nothing much happened.
And I was a kid. I remember Hurricane Gloria, and nothing much happened there either. I went out and partied in the city that night.
So when Sandy was coming that afternoon, I actually texted Connell McShane as a joke. I said, I said, me and the family are on top of the house. We're on the roof, and we're waiting for the water to recede. And right after that, the power went out, and that was the last text I sent out. And for 2 days, I had no communication with anybody. So Connell came in on the radio, and he told Mr. Imus, this was the last text I got from Bernard. And, of course, Sandy, it turned out to be a lot worse than what I anticipated. Well, they thought being the Weisenheimer.
They thought you were. I remember talking to Bo Dino. They thought you were dead. They couldn't find you.
Well, Mr. Imus had Bo go out and check on me. That's the kind of guy he is. And yes, but my house, the ground level was 2 feet of water, and the walls were It was ruined.
Yeah.
The ground level was ruined. The ground level floor was ruined, and we had to move out for a month, for at least a month. The house stunk.
But you were able to fix all of it? The house is completely okay now? I mean,
it's all back to normal, yeah,
right.
but it was a horrible experience, and so I am familiar with the dangers of a hurricane. And you know what was funny about that particular Hurricane Sandy? There was no precipitation. It was all wind.
Right.
Wind and the storm surge. The water came up from the ocean and met the bay and flooded the whole
caused the damage,
Long Beach, imagine if there was a lot, torrential rain.
Well, that's a problem with this Hurricane Matthew. 115 to 150 mile per hour winds, and they expect 12 inches of rain in Miami the next day or so.
Yeah,
plus the storm surge. That's brutal.
No joke. 1-800-848-9222. Bernie and Sid on WABC. Worried about the storm. Few other things happening out there, of course. We'll get to them. We have a nice little feud going between some Fox News hosts.
I saw that this morning in the Daily News.
We'll try to mine that for laughs.
That is,
laughs.
Funny. and I'm on the side of one of them completely. And by the way, I'm on the side of the one I don't like. I like the other one.
That's
but I
crazy.
think in this case, the other one is really being a pompous ass.
1-800-848-9222. Bernie and Sid back after this.
77.
Explosion at any time.
Get in. Get truth. 77 WABC.
Let's get it on. Get it on. You know what I'm talking about.
Come on, baby. All right, this is Flirty Flipper's dedication to Sean Hannity and Megyn Kelly. Let's get it on. By Marvin Gaye, who, by the way, was shot dead by his father.
No, his father. That's right.
That's right.
His
yeah.
father. He kept borrowing money from Marvin Gaye, and Marvin finally said, "Pop, can't do it.
Yo, pay up. F you, pay me." Just like in Goodfellas. F you, pay me. And Dad said, "Excuse me."
Well, the other way around. I mean, Dad wanted money from Marvin. Marvin kept giving Pop's money.
I know, but he wanted it back. But Marvin wanted it to be repaid.
Right, and that was it.
Right. Well,
shot him.
It's very sad, actually. Very, very horrible situation. Which and this feud that's going on between Megyn Kelly and Sean Hannity on Fox.
You think this feud is going to end like the way the Marvin Gaye feud ended?
No.
Oh, okay.
I do not.
Okay.
I do. I like the connection that you made, though. That's good. That's very good. But listen, and it's all rooted in the Trump phenomenon, as are a lot of disputes and rifts and friendships that have exploded. Trump has caused a lot of this stuff.
No, it's not.
It's
all rooted in Sean Hannity's ego.
Oh, shit. Now listen, first of all, you know Sean's, he swallows more than me for Donald Trump.
The worst.
And by the way, God bless him, I'm glad, because, we're in lockstep.
That's fine. So that means everybody else has to do the same thing?
No, not at all. So Megyn Kelly, of course, she started the first debate, the first question right out of the box to Donald Trump. You call women pigs and slobs, only Rosie O'Donnell, without any context, of course. So anyway, they had that feud, and that went on for a long time. So then after the debate, Donald Trump that he had with Hillary last week, Donald Trump was on TV. He went into a room with Sean Hannity while Megyn Kelly was on the air.
Right.
She saw that and said this.
But there was a lot of time that he was given to exploit the issue, which has been a major issue in the campaign, and it went unused. He went back to the taxes and playing defense on that. We've got Trump speaking to our own Sean Hannity. We'll see whether he speaks to the journalists in this room after that interview. Let's listen.
She's my hero. She's my hero.
So that was last week, right?
Right.
So last night, it turns out that Hillary Clinton went on Steve Harvey's show, and every single question he asked her, 19 questions, she knew what they were. She suggested some of them, even questions about her being a grandmother.
Okay.
It was not a spontaneous thing.
Okay.
That all came out yesterday. So Megyn Kelly was talking about that, a couple of other things, and she said this.
Which is why she sat for a half an hour with Mary J. Blige, the singer, which is why she did Entertainment Tonight this evening, which is why we just found out that when she went on the Steve Harvey show, she had every single question given to her in writing in advance, and then she feigned surprise as the questions were asked. And Donald Trump, with all due respect to my friend at 10 o'clock, will go on Hannity and pretty much only Hannity and will not venture out to the unsafe spaces these days, which doesn't exactly expand the tent.
She's right. She's 100% right.
Wait a second. Donald Trump goes everywhere.
Has he lately?
As a matter of fact, yesterday in Las Vegas, he was asked questions about his past sexist comments. He gave it a long interview. I have the clips of it. But yeah,
who listens to that,
But he does go on Hannity and he gets puffballs, which
right.
is fine.
She sounds jealous.
So he said, yes. And by the way, you nailed it right there. He's overtaken her in the ratings. And this is what, in my opinion, is driving this. He responded that, Megyn Kelly, you should be mad at Hillary Clinton. Clearly you support her. And Donald Trump did talk to you at some point. And he did. And then remember, she says that Hannity's throwing puffballs. Well, remember when Roger Ailes mediated?
I killed her. I killed her on the Imus show.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
She had the opportunity to hit him, as she's claimed.
But she was told not to. She was told not to.
Sean Hannity
she was told not to.
You don't know that.
I know that. Roger Ailes said to her, you go there, you make nice with Donald Trump. Let me ask you a question. Roger Ailes is going to have
Nobody
her...
tells Megyn Kelly what to do.
Roger Ailes made her go to that meeting, and you think he didn't say to her, hey, do me a favor. You got to fix this. So don't be a bitch to this guy. Fix this thing. So she went in there and did exactly what Roger Ailes wanted.
She went in there, and she turned into Nancy O'Dell.
I know she did.
She had the opportunity to be Edward R. Murrow.
She
and give him a tough interview, and she didn't do it.
She had the orders not to do that.
And now she's talking tough.
She should.
And because Sean Hannity's taking her in the ratings, and she was embarrassed by the criticism in the wake of that softball interview.
Your boy Sean Hannity, who I happen to like a lot, you know that, has lost all credibility. This is a guy that after Trump got his ass cleaned last Monday by Hillary, had the balls to go on the radio and TV and say Trump won. That's a guy that went from one of the best voices in this country to such a cheerleader for Donald Trump. He's got zero credibility.
And
zero.
I said that even before our show the following morning. I said that on the Imus in the Morning show, that people like Sean Hannity lose credibility when they don't state the obvious, that Donald Trump lost that debate the night before.
Not just a debate, the whole 19 months. He's the ultimate apologist.
Your whole thing is, with Sean Hannity, is that he hasn't invited you on his show since you've come up to New York, after you had him on your show down in Florida. That's your whole... come on, man.
You really think I'm not shallow? You really think I'm not shallow?
Yes. Am I right?
Partly.
1-800-848-9222. Bernie and Sid, back after this. Yeah. With the news.
77 WABC. News now.
What mayhem's math you going to bring? 16 on 77 WABC, where New York comes to town.
Bernie and Sid on demand.
You never know what's going to happen.
The WABC radio app. Download it now. Upload the BS. 77 WABC.
We're not going to be affected. I think, that it will guide along the coast of Florida just to scare the hell out of everybody. It heads toward the Carolinas. It stays out in the Atlantic. It's going to make a U-turn. It's going to do a weird thing. It's going to loop itself. Now, here's what's going to happen after this, Sid, because next week is the week you need to board up the house, because it's going to loop back to Florida next week.
Oh, yeah, you may want to. He may want to change that. So could have used some rain last night in Citi Field. Instead, they played the game and the Mets lost, and they're done. 2 playoff games today. You've got the Red Sox and the Rangers and the Blue Jays and all that good stuff. But that was meteorologist Bill Evans on this show yesterday. I was bitching because he said it was going to be a gorgeous day, and I was freezing on the subway platform yesterday morning. Now, I own a home in Boca Raton. You all know that. And Bill told me that next week is when I should be worried. And he could not be any more wrong, because Florida today, West Palm Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, today, they're about to get nailed. I've never heard a politician like Rick Scott this morning who told South Floridians this storm is, quote, going to kill you. Get out while you can still save your life. How about that, Bill Evans?
That's a little over the top, man.
Well, let me just say this, Bill Evans.
I think that is a good approach to get people to evacuate, because you always have those who say, no, I'm going to stay. It's my home. It's my property. I'm going to protect it. Just like people in Staten Island did, and they drowned in their home during Hurricane Sandy. So I like that approach. I don't think the storm from a meteorological sense is quite that severe. I mean, yes, if you're standing on the beach, late tonight and tomorrow, the hurricane will blow you away. It can kill you. There's no doubt about that. So I like his approach. You were saying, Bernard?
I was saying this, that we played the tape of you making a forecast about the hurricane, and obviously it was wrong. But the computer, let me finish. In your defense, I was going to say that the computer model showed a different track yesterday than it does today.
Well, what I said was he was asking would it pass by South Florida, and it pretty much is going to pass by Miami. It's going to hit more north, West Palm Beach. You're talking about the western side of the storm.
That's where I live. I live in Boca Raton, 20 miles from West Palm Beach, not Miami.
Boca Raton's 20 miles south of West Palm Beach, right?
I know. Yeah.
So in any hurricane, 50 miles is a big deal when you're talking about the eye wall, and you're talking about the western eye wall. So that's the weaker part of the storm. They'll get hurricane force winds, maybe 100-mile-per-hour winds, but you're not going to get the full effect.
Maybe not 150, but let me.
Sid's house is going to be in Biloxi, Mississippi by Sunday night,
which is a lovely place to live. By the way.
What I've heard about this storm, and again,
it's like the Wizard of Oz and the home's flying all over the place.
This is your expertise. What I've heard and why this one, it's not going to matter whether you're standing on the beach east or living in West Boca like me. Why you're going to get nailed no matter what is, for example, the last storm down in Florida, that was about wind. There was not a lot of precipitation. This storm is promising 115 to 150 winds, Bill Evans, and maybe up to 12 inches of rain in Miami. So you're going to get the rain, you're going to get the winds, you're going to get the storm surge. So basically, whatever can go wrong during a hurricane, you're getting all of it with Matthew.
I got to tell you something. I like your passion. Man, you are awesome.
No,
he's listen to Bernard.
He is riddled with anxiety.
He is filthy.
I swear to God. I mean, he walks around this 17th floor here, biting his nails,
dude. You're
pacing
filthy.
around. The worst, end times are near. It's doomsday. The apocalypse is
coming.
We're
all going to die.
That's basically Sid's approach.
But am I wrong about this storm? Am I right?
Wrong?
No, you're not. You're not wrong. If you're on that East Coast, you should evacuate. You should not be in a high rise. You should go west. You should not try to leave the state of Florida because the state is highway starved. You're just going to end up stranded on a highway. So if you want to ride it out in a high rise, you can. You just have to be in an inner hallway and that sort of thing. And it's going to last 4 to 6 hours maybe as it comes up the coast and passes city by city. It is going to be a major storm. It is going to be a Category 3 borderlining on a 4. And residents there, guys, have not had a storm like this since 1951. That's a long way back for a major hurricane to have come up,
That's right.
parallel the coast.
And
like
I was
this.
there in 2005, 11 years ago for Wilma, and I was in West Boca and down to Fort Lauderdale. It did a tremendous amount of damage and killed people, by the way, and not even as strong as what they say this one could be, Bill, right there on the same level as a Katrina or an Andrew. I mean, is that possible?
Oh, absolutely. And fortunately, you have one thing going for you. That is the western side of the storm is on the coast. But the other problem is you have a big trough of low pressure coming from the west. So that's why the rain is going to be enhanced over Florida as it meets the west side of the storm. So once it starts to turn, and it's going to start turning as it gets toward Georgia, it'll go right up to Jacksonville, to Amelia Island, Fernandina Beach, and then start to veer out into the Atlantic. And as it makes that turn, it really creates a lot more in the way of rain. So on the backside of the storm, you get a lot of rain. Now Florida does flood and it does drain very well, but you get, like you said, 6 to 12 inches of rain is a lot, and that's where most people are killed in these storms, is the freshwater inland flooding. That's where they get killed. They go out in the storm, or they stay in their home, and they know what their sea level is, but the surge rises up above their sea level, and that's where most people are killed. Most people are not killed by flying debris and things like that. It's the fact they stayed and they got flooded out.
So our hearts go out to the people in Florida and Haiti and Jamaica, wherever this storm hit. But the silver lining, Bill, is that we're not going to get hit here in the tri-state area, correct?
Not at all.
Right.
No, it will stay south of us. We might have some waves that come up, and you might notice a little something at the beach, but we're not going to be influenced by this. Now, what may happen with the storm?
I could do some boogie boarding.
You can do that.
Yeah.
So it's actually
for
good news for me.
I actually read this morning they were thinking about canceling the Michigan-Rutgers football game in New Jersey on Saturday, and why would they do that if we're not going to get touched by this?
Well, they should, because Rutgers sucks. Oh. See, that'd be a great.
That's why.
That would be a great thing to do. So
they jumped at the chance.
I used to do the weather for Rutgers. I got fired this year, so
a few puffy clouds. Cancel the game.
Yeah, you got Michigan coming to town. You just got thumped by Ohio State, pasted. So, Coach, do yourself a favor. What you say is like, yeah, it's a hurricane. My kids can't play. They got family down in Florida.
That's funny. Well, how about the fact that they've actually shut down the University of Miami, one of the 4 schools I went to, Bill? They've closed it today, tomorrow, and Friday, but they refuse to cancel the Miami FSU game on Saturday night.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Well, they're hoping that the FSU team floats away during the game is what they're hoping for. The Miami kids can swim. FSU's landlocked in Tallahassee. Those kids don't see much water. No, I think I have run into more parents today everywhere, at the gym, at the station, on the street, worried about kids because there are a lot of kids, University of Tampa, University of Miami, FSU, Central Florida, very worried about
FAU and Boca Raton, all those schools.
Yeah, all those schools, very worried. Of course, people have a lot of family there, not just the college kids. So it is a big worry and it is a big concern. You just have to be smart about these things. The storm really starts coming in tonight. It will be north of Miami. I don't think Miami gets a whole lot of this storm, but like I said, it's going to be from your house northward. Is your insurance paid up, by the way?
Thank God. It is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting a new house.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill Evans, listen, man. We love you.
Hand to you.
You're the best, Bill Evans. So thank you very much for.
I love you guys. It's an honor to be on your show. Hey, Sid, your house is going to be at Palm Beach, New Jersey.
Yeah.
This weekend. The other thing too, guys, is the storm does make a complete loop, and as they're trying to clean up Florida,
it's going to come back.
They're going to get hit again?
It's going to come back, yeah.
So they're going to hit. We're going to get hit today, tomorrow, and maybe next Wednesday and
but
Thursday.
Probably not as a hurricane next week because they rain themselves out over their own water. The water cools, they lose a lot of strength, but it could still be sitting out there as a tropical storm.
Let's just take it one day at a time, Bill.
Wow. Let's do that.
Let's not overwhelm the
That's
poor.
Right. So that means I could come back tomorrow?
Perhaps. Because you can come back anytime, actually.
I'll pay you guys if I can come back tomorrow.
We love us some Bill Evans.
Hit myself with a hammer between the legs or be on your show. I would rather.
Jackass.
It is funny. I did see a bunch of. You can tweet Bill, by the way. He's great with that. He's a lot of fun at Evans Weather.
Yeah.
And I did notice when we tweeted yesterday that I was angry about your forecast yesterday morning and froze my ass up on the subway platform. A lot of very angry tweets directed at you. I go,
oh my gosh!
Why? Nobody. Everybody hates the weatherman.
Oh my! I to say I was called a jerk was mild.
Oh, I saw. Effing this.
Just add an off to that is what they. That's what they say.
Yeah,
it was terrible. I mean, I like it. I've been here 30 years now. If you can't handle it, you don't need to be a weatherman in
Gotta
this
have a
town.
thick skin.
Yep.
As does Bill Evans. So we'll say goodbye again, Bill.
Billy, great job.
Goodbye, you guys. Good luck down there, Sam.
Thank you, buddy.
Good luck in Florida.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys. Love you.
Love you too.
There you go. There's your house. There's your house on the way to Biloxi.
God, I hate you guys.
No, listen. Expect the worst and hope for the best. You won't. Things will be okay.
You might get 6 to 12 inches in your house down there tonight.
See what you did there?
I do.
Keep hope alive.
The Brazilian guy who is renting my house, he's at least 6 to 12.
Mira, que pasa, papi? Hey, Mitch from Queens is on the line with us right now. Let's go to Mitch. What up, Mitch?
I got to tell you, I give Sid a hard time all the time when I call, but you guys are the funniest. I'm in my car, I'm laughing my butt off because you guys just crack me up. And Sid, I hope your house doesn't end up in New Jersey.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you.
You're the man,
Thank
Mitch.
you. Thank you. That's a nice call. Thank you.
Let's go. We were talking earlier about this feud between Megyn Kelly and Sean Hannity, which is it's all rooted in the Trump candidacy. Megyn Kelly's Trump hater, and Hannity's in the tank for Trump, and he's overtaken Megyn Kelly in the ratings.
I think you're right. There's some jealousy involved.
Yes.
But there's also monster ego on both sides,
No
but
doubt.
more on Sean's side.
So now take it easy. Bob from the Bronx. Bob, you're on with Bernie and Sid on WABC. Good morning, Bob.
Hey, hi guys. Bernie, I go back to the days of you calling in from the cab. Sid, I could never stand you. I used to turn the radio off, get out of the car, leave. I just couldn't take you, but I rooted for you. I just knew you were out of your mind, and I'm happy you guys are
You love
well.
Sid.
Oh, thank you.
You love Sid.
Thank
right?
you.
We all love Sid.
The show is great. The show
Thank
is
you.
fun. Two regular guys.
You're the man. You're the man.
Thank you.
Bob.
Appreciate that.
This whole thing with Megyn Kelly and Sean Hannity, they change and go back and forth and back and forth. It's hard to like either of them. It's hard to hate either of them. I really used to be a Sean Hannity fan until he got behind the guy who killed the kid in Florida and then got behind the nuts in the Midwest that
I know what you're talking about.
Supremacist. He just digs in, and he will not give up when he gets behind somebody.
Yeah,
Megyn Kelly, I used to watch religiously for a lot of different reasons. But if Megyn Kelly looked like Candy Crowley, I wouldn't have watched her. But she is newsworthy.
Is this Bob Trump on the line here?
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you humming, Bob. Hey, listen, go ahead.
I root for Donald Trump because I've met him. I met him at his casino. I met him on a golf course. I met him in New York. I'm a New Yorker my whole life. I think nothing can be possibly worse than what we have now, what we could potentially have.
The greedy, crooked liar. I completely agree with you. Bob from the Bronx.
He was talking about Obama. He said what we have now. She's not there yet. That'll work in about 2 months.
You know what? I actually think Obama's better than she is, to be quite honest.
Well, he's better than both.
No,
he's better than Donald Trump, too.
9222. Bernie and Sid back after this.
Nothing at all in between. This is Bernard McGurk.
So, Bernie.
This is Sid Rosenberg.
The one and only Sid.
Live, local, on it.
You never know what's going to happen.
Exclusively.
What is this?
77 WABC.
Funny. My house.
Yeah. Well, maybe not your house.
Right. To what was my house as the hurricane has now strengthened to a Category 4. It's official. Anyway, welcome back. It is hour number 2 of what has become your favorite show in New York City, the Bernie and Sid Show, right here on legendary 77 WABC. And
I've never seen you so panicked. I mean, it's like there were, like 10 ISIS guys out in the newsroom breaking down the door to get in here over this hurricane.
That won't even bother me. I could defend myself against the ISIS guys. Here, I'm 1,300 miles away, and it's Mother Nature.
You're just like you're just panicked. You're riddled with things. You need to be sedated.
Bernard.
You need to be tranquilized.
Let me tell you the way it's going to go. No disrespect to our friend Bill Evans who came on. He's a meteorologist. He knows his stuff. He was very calm. I'm not a knee-jerk guy. I don't overreact. But I'm going to tell you this. Millions will die from this hurricane.
Millions will die. Listen, let us expect the worst and hope for the best, as I said earlier. I mean, there's nothing we can do. The cable news outlets are all over it. They got the cameras
so
down
that goes out. That's going to go out. You're not going to have that in a couple of hours. You'll see Anderson Cooper on the beach. You'll never see him again. My buddy Jerry from Brooklyn, who is up in the Northeast right now vacationing, says that my house is going to be okay. He's a carpenter guy. He's very, very good with these things. And he says that the houses, the way they're built, specifically my house in Florida, is ready for this. So I trust Jerry. He said that. And my friend Stephanie, who is leaving Florida as we speak, she said already there's no gas, none, anywhere in Florida. It's gone.
Yeah, look, first of all, you should always, even in this day and age, no matter if a storm threat or not, keep a full tank. Because I'll tell you what, the next big terror attack that's going to occur here, the out-of-the-box type of terror attack, it's going to be on the grid, the national electrical grid. You won't be able to get gas, so always keep your tank full. That's a little advice from...
Well, I think you're right.
From the ball-headed...
Do you always have a full tank of gas?
I obsess over it. After what happened in Sandy, when we had alternate gas days, you had to wait on long lines... I always have a full tank.
Well, the good news is, and believe me, you deserve it, because I don't say this because you're my partner or my friend. I think you're an immense talent. And the good news is, between the Amish show and this show, you've got money. But I got to tell you, for years, when I wasn't making much money, I was so happy to have a quarter of a tank of gas. I felt like $1 million.
Hey, listen, I didn't start making any money until I was in my 30s.
Well, I know.
So
you went through some rough times.
And
you remember when you had a quarter of a tank? It felt great.
I still live almost paycheck to paycheck. I'm looking forward to paying off my mortgage in about a year.
That's awesome.
I'm
not going to worry about that anymore because my house is going to be gone today.
I have one house. You have two. I have one house.
I have one. What do you mean two? Right. I live at my sister's house in Brooklyn right now.
Okay, fine. You're about to buy another. I mean, don't try to paint me as some sort of affluent,
no,
pampered softie here.
No. You work ridiculous hours. You're still probably underpaid for the amount of work that you do and how good you are. But thank God you're doing okay.
I'm all right, but
which is why you shouldn't be bitching about Obama, Clinton, anybody else. Donald Trump's not going to help you out. I'll tell you that.
He's going to help me out.
How's he going to do that?
Absolutely right. Look, he's going to give me peace of mind.
He is.
Look, do you want to get into the whole Trump
How's he going to stop
versus Hillary
this?
thing?
How's he going to stop this?
Listen,
what could Donald Trump do about this? Don't worry, if you elect me, there'll be no more natural disasters.
You know what?
That's it. Because I talk to Mother Nature. Mother Nature loves me. Mother Nature, I talk to Mother Nature.
She's voting for me.
He'll take care of the clown threat. There's a big clown.
That's not funny.
Creepy clown threat out there.
That's not funny.
No, I know it's not funny.
I'm scared of clowns.
Funny how.
And you should be scared. Yeah, right. Am I a clown?
Why should I be scared?
So listen, but what's happening though is that clowns are being painted with a broad brush.
Right.
And because there are a lot of good clowns out there. There's some bad clowns, but there are a lot of good clowns.
Right.
Like a lot of clowns make people happy.
They do.
But now people make a profession out of it.
Out of being a clown.
It's out of being a clown.
Right.
So out in Tucson, Arizona, believe it or not, they're actually organizing a Clown Lives Matter march.
Stop it.
I kid you not. It sounds like I'm mocking a certain outfit. I'm not.
So CLM, Clown Lives Matter.
Listen to this news report from a Tucson ABC affiliate in Tucson. Listen to this. This is legit news report. Take a listen.
People in Tucson getting in on the clown craze by doing something kind of out of the norm. A so-called Clown Lives Matter march is planned for October 15th. People are invited to show up wearing full clown makeup or masks. Organizers say it's a peaceful way to show clowns are not psycho killers. They say they want the public to feel safe and to not be afraid.
And they go on to say they want to not be afraid, feel safe, and so they say, so come out, bring the family, meet a clown, and get a hug.
Awesome. And
their slogan is no justice, no juggling. Actually, that's not true, but can you imagine that? Seriously, a Clown Lives Matter. They want to save the reputation of clowns. And, well, let's hope it's peaceful. That's all I'm saying.
I bet you Halloween there's going to be a lot of people dressing as clowns.
Yeah, but those will be scary clowns. Those will be the bad clowns.
People are scared of clowns now.
I've always been scared of clowns.
That's the point of this march is to because if you ever watch Modern Family, Cam is a professional clown. He takes it very seriously.
Yes, he is. Talking about Modern Family, Chaz Palminteri may call in today.
Oh, well,
he may.
Why? I mean, how does that relate to our clown conversation?
Well, because you just mentioned Modern
Family. Okay,
right.
see,
Chaz is on that show. Does a very good job on that show.
Never underestimate the value of a good night's sleep.
Right.
I'm going to eat at his restaurant on Saturday night.
She's going to his restaurant, which is a fantastic restaurant, which I've been to with Danielle for my anniversary this Saturday. Plus, he wanted to talk about the Mets losing last night. He wanted to talk about Trump and Clinton. And he's got relatives. He's always in South Florida. He's got relatives down there. So he may call in and say hello. We'll see. Fantastic. Now, listen, speaking of flirty, she's going to see Saturday Night Live this weekend with her husband after the meal at Chaz's restaurant, which is called? Chaz Palminteri Ristorante.
Italiano.
Fantastic.
And it's located?
It's on between 47th and 48th on 2nd Avenue. It's a fantastic restaurant. I really mean that. It's great.
Okay, so Hillary Clinton, I told you earlier she did that Steve Harvey show, and the entire interview was scripted by the Clinton campaign staff, even down to a grandmother questioner from the audience. Yeah. All of it scripted, right? Okay. So they provided her a 19-page briefing on this particular taping of the Steve Harvey show that detailed every question that Steve Harvey asked her.
Smart. So she's smart.
So Jimmy Fallon got slaughtered. Yeah. For just sort of humanizing Donald Trump, and there was no collusion like that. Right. But in any case, just to show you,
what's your point? What's your point?
The point is
if it's scripted,
the inauthenticity.
There was no inauthenticity last Monday at the debate.
Phoniness.
They both got the questions the same exact time last Monday at the debate. There was no here are the questions before, and given the opportunity, Hillary Clinton embarrassed Donald Trump. I don't care about Jimmy Fallon or Steve Harvey or Jimmy Kimmel.
I care.
The fact is, she knows how to speak, and your guy doesn't.
This is
just accept it.
Absolutely, this is disgusting what Steve Harvey did.
Right.
And I actually
it's disgusting not to pay your taxes.
It's terrible.
And then bitch and complain that the media is after you.
It's disgusting to lie to parents on the tarmac.
Stop with that. Just stop with that.
The dead bodies lie.
Stop.
That's disgusting.
You said you were done with Benghazi, but at any attempt.
So listen, I was trying to get.
You bring it back.
My plan was to go to Saturday Night Live. So she sat down. That was Steve Harvey, right?
Right.
So she sits down last night with another tough interview. She went on Entertainment Tonight.
Okay.
Believe it or not, and listen to this.
Now I gotta ask you, Saturday night, last Saturday, where were you? Were you at home? Were you watching Channel 4? Did you watch Saturday Night Live?
I have to tell you, I saw it on delay.
Okay.
But I did see it. And I'll tell you, when Kate McKinnon came out with the walker, I thought I was going to fall off my chair.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's talking about, to be honest.
And then they asked about our friend Daryl Hammond, of course.
They asked her about it?
Unceremoniously dumped by Lorne Michaels on Saturday Night Live.
And Alec Baldwin, I love Daryl. I thought Daryl was great. But to Alec Baldwin's credit, he was funny as Trump last week.
He sucked.
He was so funny.
He was good.
Daryl Hammond, head and shoulders better.
No, I think Daryl Hammond's better, but Alec did a pretty good job last week.
I'm glad we agree. So listen to this.
And Alec did an amazing job, you thought?
He was amazing.
Oh,
I mean, it looks like he had been almost shadowing Trump. I mean, his look, his scowling,
God, she's so
his, staring down and then muttering his responses. It was perfect. And so I don't know who's going to show up at my next debate Sunday night.
Oh, man. Good times, baby. Good times.
Well, get ready for it.
I wonder if those were scripted questions and answers. And and this is where I laugh, the loud laugh, the actual cackle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Do you think she had her hot sauce with her on the Steve Harvey interview?
Yeah, she didn't talk about super predators then, right?
No. And Steve Harvey, believes me, he knows all about the super predators. Steve Harvey is no dummy.
Steve Harvey's a good guy.
He's going to be voting for Hillary Clinton, even with the super predator comment. Him and about 99.99% of every African American in this country going to be voting for Hillary Clinton, not Donald Trump.
Steve Harvey's a very good guy, and she should be grateful. But this exposes, once again, the collusion.
Right. Of the whole world. The whole world.
Everything from the entertainment media to the news media.
Right.
Everything. So it's a tough road to hoe for my guy, Mr. Trump.
No, it's a tough road to hoe when you combine the fact that he's an idiot and he can't debate. He has nothing. He knows nothing about any policy whatsoever. And his only appeal of people like you who hate Hillary Clinton. Of course, he's got a very, very tough job.
Casual when we have an audience and he interacts. And she's wooden and she's fake and it's just like a suit dummy and he's a real guy. We're gonna find out.
He's doing great. Pennsylvania, Florida, Ohio. We're gonna find out in about a month when he gets his ass kicked on election day, and then it's over.
Him against Anderson, Martha Radish, and Hillary Clinton. 3 against 1. And he kicks all their asses.
No, that'll be good.
We're going to find out.
That'll be good when he starts to beat up on the moderators because he can't beat Hillary Clinton. That's really going to help his cause on Sunday night.
And the audience claps for him while he's kicking their ass.
Yeah, they'll be hysterical
Sunday
in applause.
Night, man.
Yeah.
Sunday night.
If you're a Trump, here's a question. The Giants play the Packers on Sunday. Who's going to be worse on Sunday night, Eli Manning or Donald Trump? Who will be worse on Sunday night, Eli Manning against the Packers or Donald Trump against Hillary? Who will be worse?
I'll put that in our Twitter poll.
I'll tell you what.
Throw it up there.
Who's going to lie more, Eli Manning or Hillary Clinton? Put that up on our Twitter poll. 1-800-848-9222. Bernie.
What's the matter with the clothes I'm wearing? Can't you tell that your tie's too wide?
Back on the Bernie and Sid show. Billy Joel. He's still doing the garden every month, right?
Yeah, I think so. He was sick last month, but
it didn't
he had to go board up his house.
Wasn't a car accident or anything like that.
No, nothing like that. Right, great album. This is from Glass Houses. Hey, by the way, your boy is little scrimmage tonight, getting ready for Sunday night. He's working on his game because he's not very good in these town hall settings. So I give Trump some credit. He'll be in New Hampshire tonight trying to get better for Sunday. So he's trying.
He was in Vegas yesterday. He was in, Nevada yesterday. He's in New Hampshire tonight, as you say. He's got to take a night or two off. Just get a good night's sleep.
I think after
and take this seriously.
Yeah, I think tonight it's like I said, it's a scrimmage. It's a good opportunity to get better, and then take some time off and get ready.
A town hall. Okay, good. And your gal's guy, Bill Clinton, was out yesterday, doing he was stumping for her, and a woman paraded right in front of him with a big, huge sign that said, Bill Clinton is a rapist.
Yeah.
It was a very awkward moment.
It was Melania Trump, bro.
Omar from Wyckoff, New Jersey. Omar, you're on Bernie and Sid on WABC. Good morning, Omar.
Hey, guys. Just wanted to ask you a quick question. You guys just mentioned about that 99% of African Americans will not vote for...
not you guys. I said it. Don't blame Bernard. That's me. I said it. Right.
Yeah. I'd like to ask we could also add other minorities in that group. Why do you think that's the case?
Listen. I don't know. I don't know. Again, everything is so anecdotal. It's people I speak to and what I watch. I believe, and I could be proved very wrong next month, that African Americans, Latinos, women, he's going to get not lose, not make it respectable, slaughtered across the board with all those groups. I could be wrong, but I would bet my life he gets slaughtered in those categories.
The Republicans always lose to minority groups.
He's going to get worse because he has made comments. He has made comments which Bernard will defend that a lot of folks don't like.
Yeah, but I would say this: he has more Latino support than Mitt Romney had. So in that sense, he's going against the grain.
I don't think so. I think he's going to get slaughtered with Latinos and everybody else.
Well, he's not going to win, but it's going to be
not even a respectable showing. Slaughtered.
Well, as of now, as I said, the polls show that he does better than Mitt Romney. Okay. In fact, there was one poll he does McCain and Romney combined. He had more Latino support. So I don't know.
We'll see.
We're going to see what happened. Let's go to Steve from Beacon, New York. Steve, you're on with Bernie and Sid on WABC. Good morning, Steve.
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Hey, Stevie.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I can imagine. You're just fighting at the bit to see what's going to happen in Florida.
Right.
Well, poor Sid here, he's just
nervous.
Freaking.
I'm freaking out.
Yo, why you bugging, yo? He really is.
Relax already.
Oh, boy.
You have no idea. He's biting. He's normally a manic type of personality, and today he's just he's beside himself.
Very nervous.
Well, let me get to my point.
Go ahead.
If you watched the Clinton-Trump debate, Hillary was almost starting to answer the question before Lester even finished. So the way her team operates, I would not be surprised whatsoever if Lester Holt had already given her the question.
Right. Well, he didn't even have to. I mean, he was so one-sided as it was. But I wouldn't be surprised either. Not in the least.
I wouldn't be either, and it was one-sided. But don't confuse the issue. She's great at that. Donald Trump sucks at it. Bottom line. She could have the questions, not have the questions. When it comes to that setting, she's a pro. He's an amateur, and it'll happen again on Sunday.
No, this is a different setting. He has a way with people in these sort of settings. Remember the rallies, the unscripted rallies? He kills them. He kills it at those rallies.
Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush and John Kasich going to be with him on Sunday night, or Hillary Clinton, who is the pro's pro?
Well, no, I'm talking about he relates to and with the people.
Put him where you want, Bernard. With the people, without the people, he's going to get his ass kicked.
We can make predictions and all this stuff.
We'll see.
We can speculate.
All I know is there was one debate so far. She won going away, and he's now losing in every battle. He's even losing Ohio this week.
And Obama and Kerry, they lost. Let's see. Kerry won the 3 debates against George W. Bush in 2004.
Right.
And Obama lost the first debate against Romney.
Right.
And Muhammad Ali lost the first fight against Frazier.
Obama's a much smarter politician than Donald Trump, and I would have predicted that Obama would do better the second time. Donald Trump does not do well with these. I don't care how many times George said he won. He sucks in these debates.
He did not win. You know I said that from day one.
But why is he going to be better Sunday? Because you want him to?
I am hoping that he learned his lesson, and I think that the crowd will help him.
So it doesn't matter what she does because it's all about him. Being that she's great at it,
she's horrible with crowds. She's terrible, and traditionally she's just a wooden, sort of cold, a witchy type woman.
Right.
And but she'll fake it, and
that's right. That's right.
You know about women faking it, right? Back on Bernie and Sid after Noam with the news.
77 WABC.
What mayhem will Matthew bring? 64 Sunshine. Here's the stories you'll be talking about. 77 WABC.
Going 17 minutes away from Curtis and Kubi, wrapping up the Bernie and Sid show here on 77 WABC. And we got a great guest in studio. I got to meet this guy a bunch of times when he was John McEnroe's sidekick on that defunct show on CNBC. But I've met him in the city. I've seen him do stand-up. And he's a friend of the show for many, many years. It's great to have him. John Fugelsang.
It's so nice to be back, gentlemen. Thank you for lowering your standards this much to let me in the building.
He's self-deprecating as well. By the way, the reason we played that song, The Dream On, is because you have a show premiering on PBS tomorrow night called Dream On.
It's a film, yeah. It's
a film.
It's a documentary movie that won Best Documentary at the New York Independent Film Festival, directed by a two-time Oscar nominee, and it's a movie about the American dream. We thought it was going to be like a 10-hour miniseries. PBS said we'll make it a 90-minute feature, but they're putting tons of extra footage on the website, and it's a movie unlike anything that's ever been made.
You've in this movie, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know all the specifics, but I think you've interviewed like 1,000 people. You've been to like 100 countries. I would ask you this. Why would you not come to us? I don't understand. We are the voices of politics and reason in New York.
We are America right here.
Right.
Well, when I first heard the idea of the movie, it seemed a bit esoteric, but it was retracing the journey Alexis de Tocqueville took. And 200 years ago, when he wrote Democracy in America, this French nobleman who comes over here falls in love with this concept of a society where people can be born poor, work hard all their life, play by the rules, and rise up the economic ladder. To a French nobleman, that was revolutionary. And his book led to the idea of the American dream. So what we did was 200 years later, we did in 2 months in a car what it took him 9 months on horseback. We went to all the same cities. We did 200 interviews in 17 states and 55 cities, asking people of every different background in homeless shelters, rural obesity clinics in the Mississippi Delta, prisons. What was the American dream when you were growing up, and what is it today?
Wow. That's absolutely fascinating. And I've been fascinated by de Tocqueville myself. I read this book about a year ago.
I read it back in college. I mean, it's a pretty heavy book.
It is a heavy book, but it's a good read. He was a Frenchman. He captured the essence of America back in the 1830s, and you have retraced his stuff. Most people don't even know who the hell he is, but he was a brilliant guy.
In the 1994 midterms, both Bill Clinton and Newt Gingrich quoted de Tocqueville in speeches against each other. The liberals, the conservatives, and the libertarians have all claimed him as their own. He's that influential.
Alexis de Tocqueville. Anyway, the film tomorrow night, Dream On PBS, retracing the steps of the brilliant Alexis de Tocqueville, John Fugelsang's film on PBS Channel 13 in New York. Check it out, folks. So, and also, but you're a funny guy. You're a stand-up comic. You have a serious radio, satellite radio show.
Yes, I do. Every afternoon.
Funny.
One of these days, I'm going to get you guys to come on and throw it down with us. My sidekick is Frank Conna from Mystery Science Theater 3000. You know, I've been blessed. I've had a very eclectic career. At VH1, I got to do George Harrison's final public performance and work with McCartney. I've done stand-up for the troops. I've hosted TV shows on current TV. I got Mitt Romney's advisor to call him an Etch-a-Sketch once on CNN.
You dropped more names than Pat O'Brien.
I hosted America's Funniest Home Videos. I got murdered on CSI. I've had a really eclectic career, but this was the most challenging project I ever had.
Well, you're a very talented guy and a very bright guy. But what's funny is you said something there which caught my ear as a
that I got killed on CSI.
Besides that, as a very cynical person, you said the beauty is you come here poor. You play by the rules and you make money.
Or you're born here poor.
You're born here poor. You play by the rules and you make money. And I think that people are so cynical these days that the idea of playing by the rules and making money sounds ridiculous.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, and I'm a recovering cynic. But the fact is, the middle class that we were promised when we were kids, the economic ladder, the American dream our parents and our grandparents grew up assuming would still be there, you guys know and your listeners know.
It's gone.
That doesn't exist. Right. You can still do it. But the American dream, the thought of going to Detroit and working on the line and being able to climb into middle class with the two-tier pay system, we were at the GM plant on the line in Detroit. It doesn't exist. The middle class today, for many, is the top of the bottom. And, you got people who have been working hard, playing by the rules, wondering why is it impossible now? And if government policies got us into this mess, couldn't government policies get us out of this mess? We know what Eisenhower did worked. We know that we had a booming middle class under Republican President Eisenhower because he made certain policy choices that we don't do anymore.
I still say if you get up in the morning and you put your mind to it, you go to work, go to school, whatever it is, you will succeed in this country. I mean, if you walk around with a chip on your shoulder and saying, "Oh, man, the deck is stacked against me," it's going to be stacked.
Oh well, negativity is its own punishment, absolutely. But but you guys both know there's millions of Americans who've done that, who've worked hard, who played by the rules, gave their whole life to it, and then one day they're told, "Guess what? You don't get your pension, or we've sold your company to a foreign investor.
Your 401k is gone.
You can now apply to keep your job." We talked to Caucasians in their 60s who never thought they'd be on food stamps. I mean, at the same time, this film documents many many people who are overcoming incredible odds to rise in the society despite the hurdles that are there now. It's not so much the income inequality. We hear that phrase a lot. Every society has communism would have income inequality.
Sure.
It's been 35 years of dramatically uneven income growth.
Well, here's the question, without getting too specific, because I'm sure Bernard will ask you about whether you like Trump or Clinton.
Let's talk about all of it.
The question is, the way this election is going, either one of them, is there any reason to believe, seriously, put your agenda aside, that it's going to get better?
You know, sometimes I feel like you have a choice of do you want your empire to collapse really fast or gradually?
Right.
Do you want
But
do you want a tourniquet or do you want a hemorrhage?
You're still going to bleed to death.
Well, greed kills all empires, doesn't it? Greed is the thing in capitalism and communism that guarantee both systems will never work.
Well, Gordon Gekko didn't say that, but that's fine.
Well, you know, greed works, but it doesn't work for a society. It can work for individuals. It doesn't work for a society. I mean, the greed is what drives the American economy, sure.
Making a profit is not necessarily greed. You can you don't want to conflate the two. And I would say this: the definition of lunacy is doing the same thing over and over again. They say
exactly,
and so therefore, the maintaining the status quo of which you speak.
Well, we know the rich keep getting richer, the poor keep getting poorer, and for the middle class, the American dream has gone from prosperity to just scraping by.
That's true, and therefore that's why I say the status quo is going to perpetuate that.
You're right.
And you have the traditional, both on the right and the left, Republicans and the Democrats embodied in Hillary Clinton, and in the Republicans you had the Jeb Bushes and the Ted Cruzes and those guys. The same thing. Now you have Bernie Sanders and a Donald Trump, which will shake things up. An out of the box way of thinking or approach. And perhaps will get us out of this rut.
It's amazing seeing the rise of Bernie and Trump this year because, you know, they both are essentially having the same message of radical reform. Trump's doing it with personality. Bernie did it with policy. Trump wasn't pitching any policies that would actually help them. Building a wall is not going to help the middle class. It's going to get him votes. Bernie Sanders was talking about doing the stuff that Eisenhower did 2 generations ago.
Free education and that's
the stuff that our capitalist allies have overseas that have helped their economies flourish, but we can't have them over here. And why? Why can't we have the same healthcare system Israel has? Why can't we have the same kind of free public education that our European allies have? It hasn't crashed any economies, and it's actually helped the economy. So this is a film that goes into every aspect, from mass incarceration to undocumented immigration to even obesity and how obesity is an obstacle for millions. Student loan debt. There's so many things that are there that we could get together and work to overcome if we had the will. But this country has never been conservative versus liberal. It's always been aristocracy against democracy. We were talking before. The founding fathers, for all their good points, they thought only white, wealthy males like them should be allowed to vote.
Yeah.
And it's always been the struggle. Exploited labor. Before it was slaves. Now it's undocumented workers outside Home Depot who are being exploited for below the minimum wage, or a 9-year-old girl in China making your iPhone. We still have it propping up our economy.
Is there any sex in this movie? Any sex at all? I'm just curious. Any anal or something?
He was in. He did visit prisons.
Oh, okay.
So I was in a couple of prisons. Yeah, we were in a couple of prisons. But no, this is not a sexy film. This is a film for your heart, not your loins.
Actually, you visited people in Sing Sing.
We were in Sing Sing, where they have a college education program. Now, for every dollar we spend on prison education, we spend $5 on reincarceration costs.
That makes no sense.
It makes complete sense. For every dollar you spend on educating convicts, that's $5 you save not having to lock them up again in the future. That's across the board. But in 1994, in their infinite wisdom, Congress cut funding for prison education programs, and it went from over 300 to about a dozen. Sing Sing has their own independently financed college education program, and they have a less than 1% return rate of their graduates coming back to jail.
So you think these people can, in fact, be fixed?
I think no one's beyond redemption. The whole point of Malcolm X's book is how he said I'm proof that the prison system can reform somebody.
And not only that, age, maturity, that changes people. When you're young, you get arrested, you get sentenced to 25 years, and by the time you're 42 years old, you're still in prison, and you have another 10 years to go.
And we used to call prisons penitentiaries, right? Where you'd be penitent. Now they're cages where you lock people up. De Tocqueville came to America in 1831 to write a report on our prison system for the French government he despised, and it was visiting our prisons that made him fall in love with our people. To this day, you could have a prison system that wasn't just a a cage to lock people up in, but we talk to guys who first-time nonviolent drug offenders, but because of mandatory minimum sentencing laws, the judge's hands were tied. They're in jail for longer than
murderers.
And it's a racket. Any society that keeps building more for-profit prisons needs more crime. And you know who gets locked up for it.
Answer this question that John Fugelsang with Bernie and Sid right here. With the movie and all the things that you cover in this movie, which will detail all these issues, what is the biggest issue that is detailed in this movie facing this country?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of it. The whole movie is about all the issues.
What's
that are,
the biggest one, though?
Well,
in your opinion?
For me, it's money and politics. I mean, that's it. For me, it's like when you can make it so the aristocracy can't own this government, and we can have a government of the people, by the people, for the people, then we'll see solutions, because if everybody does well, everybody does well. If only the rich do well, we've had 35 years of trickle-down. I'm still waiting for my prize in the mailbox.
Listen, you know what? I can't believe a guy as intelligent as you actually hosted America's Funniest Home Videos.
I was young.
It's the best show ever.
I was young. I needed the world. Well,
it's a great show.
You're a brilliant guy.
I was as tall as Daisy Fuentes. That's why they kept me.
Also hosted that show. The very funny guy.
Bob Saget.
From Family.
From Bob Saget.
Bob Saget.
Right, great. I love
He's
Bob.
filthy, that guy, by the way. He is.
Oh, I know.
Filthy.
Yeah, but listen, John Fugelsang, this is a fascinating documentary. Premieres on PBS tomorrow night, 10 o'clock. Channel 13 here in the tri-state area, maybe Channel 21 out in Long Island. I am fascinated by it. I'm going to set my DVR.
I'm honored.
You should too, folks.
Did you know that he was also in The Lords of Flatbush with Henry Winkler and Sylvester Stallone?
I was a little kid when that movie came out.
Porn back in 77.
I was a little kid when that. I've done a lot of porn, but I'm usually wearing a leather mask. You wouldn't know it's me. You might recognize the back of my head. I'm not sure.
John Fugelsang, check out that flick tomorrow night, Dream On, documentary.
Go to PBS, you rabble. Check it out.
That's right. Retraces the step of Alexis de Tocqueville. Learn something, folks.
We had everybody from Mike Huckabee to Paul Krugman interviewed for this movie. Wow. And then when it was cut down to feature length, my director decided to cut out all the big names and just put in the real stories of real people.
I like that.
Yeah.
Listen, unfortunately, we're way out of time. John Fugelsang, thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. I love your show.
Brilliant
thank you.
Guy. Thank
you guys make it a lot easier to be in a car in New York.
Nice of you. Bernie and Sid back after this.
77 WAB.